request you to actually go and read the final judgment. The woman and the man were together. This was a joint petition.
What next?
The judge also spoke to the husband.
I'd really like to come.
And they both.
What next? I am talking about the future. After this judgment, there will be
Trisha, I know you want to come in. Trisha,
where people will have a discussion.
Trisha, quickly.
They will have some
Again, it comes down fundamentally to whose autonomy are you respecting, right? This is a democracy, and a democracy guarantees us certain fundamental rights, and the right to autonomy over one's body should not be one that we debate over. Again, for people making uneducated opinions like this is murder, we should refer to what the doctor on the panel has said. The doctor on the panel has not used such statements. We should refer to the people who've had access to the petitioner's medical records. What have they said? None of them have made these ridiculous sort of sensational remarks.
And
like
that's why I said, because none of us are medical experts, I wanted to quote what the doctors, two doctors, one neurologist and one gynecologist quoted, and why this was actually seen as an exception and why the Delhi High Court went forward with a ruling like this. Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time. I'd like to thank all our guests. With that, it's a wrap from my side. News continues here on CNN News 18.
It was not Mr. Lapid's job, even as the head of the international jury, to hijack the occasion and the platform.
आपको तकलीफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव हेड कोई बना उससे है कि आपको तकलीफ की ये परिवारवाद का लेबल आप पर चिपक गया उससे है।
There are enough and more issues that the Congress can raise as an opposition party in the state of Gujarat. Then why is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge talking about Ravan?
The Consul General in Mumbai went personally and apologized to Anupam Kher. They are saying, in fact, the ambassador said, you should be ashamed. You have disrespected the invitation given by your host, in this case, India.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Rejecting objections regarding the maintainability of a plea filed by BJP leader Ashwini Upadhyay, seeking to undertake stringent steps for controlling fraudulent religious conversions in India, the bench asked the centre to file a detailed affidavit after obtaining information from states on anti-conversion laws and other relevant information. In fact, the Supreme Court bench came down heavily on court-forced conversions. The top court observed the purpose of charity should not be conversion. In India, conversions often get legitimacy under the garb of secularism. But being secular in no way suggests that Indic religions, births from this land, can be threatened with regular conversions, especially in the name of upliftment, social justice, or with lures or enticement. Freedom to propagate religion doesn't mean right to convert. In fact, there is a double whammy of sorts in India. Conversions supposedly happen to break the shackles of caste-based Hindu society, and they tend to flow from Hinduism to other religions. Yet, the converts also want benefits that come with caste. There is no denying that in a plural society, regular and unabated attempts to change someone's religion or change the demography of a region cannot go down very well. It creates a strain on peace and harmony in society. But the big question always is will courts raising this matter as serious and pushing ahead despite objections being raised? Can a nationwide strike on such conversions be done? Will centre bite the bullet, for example, or will individual states have to do and make laws as some have? We will take those questions to our guests in just a bit. But first, let's see what the plea is all about. What does it really want? So the plea that has been filed by Ashwini Upadhyay, who many term as a serial PILer, is to direct centre and state governments to take stringent steps against conversions that are happening because of enticements, etc. It wants to outlaw conversions through intimidation, luring with gifts or monetary benefits. And it also seeks amendments to the FCRA, which is the Foreign Contribution Rule, and the IPC to outlaw them. And the FCRA thing has been brought in because there are of course, allegations that a lot of money comes into India for proselytizing activities. Now, this is what the Supreme Court has said on the conversion menace. The apex court has said that every charity, good work is welcome, but purpose cannot be conversion. The Supreme Court also went on to say that what is required to be considered is the intention behind quote-unquote charity work that is done. It also makes a very important social comment. When everyone stays in India, they're required to act as per the culture and harmony of India. The apex court has already held in a case that the word propagate under Article 25 of the Constitution does not envisage the right to convert a person, but a right to spread one's religion by exposition of its tenet. Now, here is a little bit of detail on what the centre has said in court on the conversion menace. It has actually backed this plea and more action. It said, freedom of religion does not include a fundamental right to convert others. No right to convert an individual anyways exists through fraud, deception, coercion, allurement, or other such means. It has also gone on to say that it is cognizant of the menace of alleged conversions. Law that seek to control such practices are necessary is what the central government, the union government, has said as part of its affidavit in court. In fact, it has gone on to say that relief sought in this plea will be taken up court in all seriousness. Public order, though, is a state subject and many states have passed these laws. So is the centre willing to do it at a nationwide level, or will this be left to states? That's the big question. Is it not time for a stricter law against, quote, the charity conversion nexus?
चैरिटी करना है, किसी की मदद करना है, एजुकेशनल हेल्प करना है, इलाज कराना है, आप वो मदद करिए। किसी को कन्वर्ट करने के लिए अगर मदद कर रहे हैं तो ये बिल्कुल अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है।
Let's go across to the guests who are joining us. Ashwini Upadhyay is the advocate in Supreme Court and also the petitioner in this case. Ratan Sharda is RSS researcher and author. Rahul Ishwar, author and activist, also joining us on the show. So is Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar. Kevin Matthew Sunny is a social activist, will be joining us in just a bit. Ashwini Upadhyay, I'm coming to you first up. I'm guessing you must be very relieved that despite objections to your plea, the Supreme Court has held that this is indeed a very serious matter and it will be continued to be heard. Your first comment on that?
बिल्कुल, जिस तरीके से कल कई सारे एडवोकेट्स, बड़े सीनियर एडवोकेट्स, बड़े दिग्गज एडवोकेट्स जो एक बार अपीयर करने का 10-10 लाख रुपए लेते हैं, 5 लाख रुपए लेते हैं, और वो पूरे इस मामले में आए और उन्होंने बोला ये मेंटेनेबल नहीं है, हम ये डिसमिस होना चाहिए। उन सबको सुनने के बाद कोर्ट ने कहा कि नहीं, हम आपके सबमिशन को रिजेक्ट करते हैं, ये बहुत सीरियस इशू है। इसके पहले कोर्ट कह चुका है ये नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए बहुत बड़ा थ्रेट है। तो इसलिए हम इस पे टेक्निकल इश्यूज पे नहीं जाएंगे कि इसमें पिटिशनर कौन है और उसकी मेंटेनेबिलिटी है कि नहीं है, वो पहले फाइल किए हैं कि नहीं किए, ये सब हम नहीं सुनेंगे। हम सीधे सीधे कन्वर्जन पे सुनेंगे कि आर्टिकल 25 आखिर राइट देता क्या है। हमारा ये कहना था आर्टिकल 25 राइट टू रिलीजन देता है, राइट टू कन्वर्जन नहीं देता, राइट टू कन्वर्ट नहीं देता। आर्टिकल 25 धर्म पालन का अधिकार देता है, धर्मांतरण का अधिकार नहीं देता। आर्टिकल 25 रीतियों का अधिकार देता है, कुरीतियों का अधिकार नहीं देता। आर्टिकल 25 प्रथा, कस्टम फॉलो करने का राइट देता है, कुप्रथा फॉलो करने का राइट नहीं देता है। और दूसरा, हमने इसमें जो 3 मेन विषय कहा है, हमने पहली बात तो ये कहा है कि मेरे हाथ में इंडियन पिनल कोड है। इंडियन पिनल कोड के चैप्टर जो 15 है, चैप्टर 15 का नाम ही है ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन। लेकिन इसमें दिक्कत ये हो रही है कि किसी का रिलीजियस सेंटीमेंट हर्ट करना तो ऑफेंस है, किसी की धार्मिक भावना आहत करना तो अपराध है, लेकिन किसी का धर्मांतरण करना अपराध नहीं। तो मैंने कहा ये 1860 में बना हुआ इंडियन पिनल कोड, इसलिए इसमें एक वैक्यूम है, इसमें गैप है। चैप्टर का नाम ऑफेंस रिलेटिंग टू रिलीजन है, धार्मिक भावना आहत करना भी अपराध है, लेकिन धर्मांतरण अपराध नहीं है, इसलिए उस गैप को सुप्रीम कोर्ट को फिलअप करना चाहिए। दूसरा हमने कहा है, आर्टिकल 14 कहता है इक्वलिटी बिफोर लॉ, इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ। दिल्ली के एक तरफ हरियाणा है, दूसरी तरफ उत्तर प्रदेश है। गाजियाबाद में कन्वर्जन ऑफेंस है, लेकिन आनंद बिहार में नहीं। नोएडा में कन्वर्जन ऑफेंस है, लेकिन मयूर बिहार में नहीं। गुड़गांव में कन्वर्जन ऑफेंस है, लेकिन दिल्ली की आप एंटर कर जाइए, महिपालपुर में ऑफेंस नहीं है। तो ये कंप्लीटली आर्टिकल 14 का वायलेशन हो रहा है। आर्टिकल 14 इक्वलिटी बिफोर लॉ, इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ का मतलब अगर ऑफेंस सेम है तो पनिशमेंट सेम होना चाहिए। तो पहली बात तो जो चीज हरियाणा में अपराध है, जो उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराध है, वो दिल्ली में भी अपराध होना चाहिए। दूसरा मैंने ये कहा है कि कुछ राज्यों ने जो कानून बनाया है, उन राज्यों में बड़ा भेदभाव है। किसी में 3 से 7 साल की सजा है, किसी में 5 से 10 साल की सजा है, किसी में 1 से 7 साल की सजा है, किसी में 1 से 10 साल की सजा है, कहीं 50,000 रुपए पेनाल्टी है, कहीं 1 लाख रुपए पेनाल्टी है, कहीं 5 लाख रुपए पेनाल्टी है। ये आर्टिकल 14 का वायलेशन है। आर्टिकल 14 का मतलब अगर अपराध समान है तो दंड समान होना चाहिए। इसलिए मैंने कहा नए कानून की जरूरत नहीं है। भारत में बहुत सैकड़ों कानून पहले बन चुके हैं, हजारों कानून है, कानूनों का मकड़जाल बहुत ज्यादा हो चुका है, इसलिए नया कानून नहीं बनाना चाहिए। इंडियन पिनल कोड का जो चैप्टर 15 है, मैंने एक बिल बना के दिया है, उसमें ड्राफ्ट भी मैंने दिया हुआ है, और वो ड्राफ्ट मैं पहले होम मिनिस्ट्री को दे चुका हूँ, लॉ मिनिस्ट्री को दे चुका हूँ, 1 साल पहले दे चुका हूँ, और अभी पिछले साल अगस्त में भी दिया था मैंने बाकायदा बिल बनाया हुआ है। सिंपल इस इंडियन पिनल कोड के चैप्टर 15 में 2 नए सेक्शन जोड़ना है, बस 2 नए सेक्शन जोड़ते ही कन्वर्जन बाय इंटिमिडेशन, मतलब झूठ बोल के, लालच दे के, धोखा दे के, किसी भी तरीके का लालच दे के, स्कूल में एडमिशन कराने का लालच दे के, हॉस्पिटल में इलाज कराने का लालच दे के, राशन देने की बात करके, या घर बनवाने का लालच दे के, कोई भी तरीके का लालच दे के, या काला जादू दिखा के, अंधविश्वास फैला के जो कन्वर्जन हो रहा है, वो केवल आईपीसी में 2 नए सेक्शन जोड़ते ही ऑफेंस हो जाएगा। हमारा ये कहना है, पोप जो क्रिश्चियंस के सबसे बड़े धर्मगुरु हैं, आज की डेट में वो देखिए खुद व्हील चेयर पे चल रहे। इसका मतलब प्रेयर से उनका घुटना ठीक नहीं हुआ। लेकिन भारत में, यूपी में, बिहार में, झारखंड में, आदिवासी एरिया में जो पादरी हैं, वो प्रेयर के द्वारा घुटना भी ठीक करने की गारंटी लेते हैं, प्रेयर के द्वारा बाजपन ठीक करने की गारंटी लेते हैं।
बट ये तो हर रिलीजन में होता है ना, थोड़ा बहुत। नहीं, एक सेकेंड, इसमें मत घुसिए, क्योंकि ये तो हर रिलीजन में होता है। कुछ लोग होते हैं जो सुपरस्टिशन फैलाते हैं, और ये हर रिलीजन में पाया जाता है। Before I come to the question of what you've told the center and what the disparity between each state law is, Ashwini Upadhyay, the other question I want to ask you, while you are right that it shouldn't matter who is filing this petition, because it should be on the merit of the petition, one of the objections against you is that there are similar pleas that you have filed in other courts that have been rejected, and you are, quote, regurgitating the same petition at periodical intervals and trying your luck at different fora. This is an argument or an allegation that has been made against you, because in Delhi High Court, your plea had been rejected. Now you're at Supreme Court.
नहीं, हमारी प्ली कहीं रिजेक्ट नहीं हुई है। वो झूठी बातें वहां दलील दी गई, और इसीलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनकी दलीलों को नकार दिया। ऐसा होता है जब हम पीआईएल फाइल करते हैं, और पीआईएल डिसमिस नहीं होती जब हम खुद विड्रा करते हैं। हमने पीआईएल फाइल किया, कोर्ट ने पूछा कि आपने गवर्नमेंट को अप्रोच किया, हमने कहा नहीं, तो बोले पहले आप गवर्नमेंट के पास जाओ। मैंने गवर्नमेंट के पास गए, गवर्नमेंट को मैंने रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिया, गवर्नमेंट को मैंने आईपीसी में अमेंडमेंट का ड्राफ्ट बना के दिया, गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ नहीं किया। हमने 4 महीने वेट किया, 4 महीने के बाद मैं वापस कोर्ट आया। तो इसलिए ये कहना, और ये पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, अगर इस वास्तव में भारत में धोखे से, लालच से, पैसा दे के कन्वर्ट नहीं कराया जा रहा है, काला जादू दिखा के कन्वर्ट नहीं कराया जा रहा है, सुपरस्टिशन का यूज नहीं हो रहा है, तो इतनी फड़फड़ाहट क्यों है, इतनी घबराहट क्यों है, इतनी हलचल क्यों है?
That's a good question.
कानून अगर वास्तव में लोग जो हमारे दलित हैं, आदिवासी हैं, या जो हमारे ट्राइब्स हैं, या जो भी हिंदू, अगर वास्तव में खुद उनको अच्छा लगता कि नहीं गीता रामायण अच्छा नहीं है, बाइबिल ज्यादा अच्छा है, या कुरान अच्छा है, हिंदू धर्म अच्छा नहीं है, बल्कि इस्लाम अच्छा है, या क्रिश्चियनिटी अच्छी है, तो अपने आप जाएंगे, कानून उनको तो नहीं रोकेगा।
And that is allowed. And that is allowed. It must be reiterated that obviously of your own volition, if you want to convert, that is obviously allowed, and that there are no bars on that. There are certain steps to be followed while somebody is converting their religion. But you raise a very important question, and that's a question I will ask my guests also, that why should anybody have a problem? Because when this law is made, it will be a neutral law in the sense that it will be religious agnostic. It will not say that only Hindus being converted to a certain religion is barred. Anybody being converted through lurement or enticement will be barred. So it protects everybody, it shields everybody. But before I broaden this, Ashwini Upadhyay, to my other guests, the conundrum is whether the center does it or the states do it. Now, you must have seen what the center has said, that public order, which this may fall under, is a state subject. Several states have gone ahead and enacted such laws. So, why are you insisting that the center should make a law, or are you insisting that, or are you happy with each state doing it?
Yes, इसकी प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम आपको मैं बताता हूँ. जो पुलिस स्टेशन पे हवलदार होता है शिवानी, जो 10वीं पास होता है या 12वीं पास होता है, उसको इस इंडियन पिनल कोड के बारे में तो पता होता है. इस इंडियन पिनल कोड में क्या क्या ऑफेंस है, क्राइम है, उसको पता होता है. बाकी उसको ब्लैक मनी लॉ, मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग लॉ, बेनामी प्रॉपर्टी लॉ या और भी करीब 50 होता है. तो अगर इस आईपीसी में अमेंड किया जाएगा, आईपीसी में ही कन्वर्जन को ऑफेंस बना दिया जाएगा, तब तो पुलिस वाले रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे. वहां देखेंगे क्या हो रहा है. अगर स्पेशल लॉ बनेगा तो उसका इफेक्टिवनेस बहुत कम हो जाएगा. मैं बार बार कहता हूं, कानूनों का मगर डालनी चाहिए. अमेरिका में जैसे एक इंटीग्रेटेड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव फेडरल पिनल कोड है, उस तरीके में चाहता हूं इंडिया में भी एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव फेडरल कोड बने. हमारे इसमें केवल 20 चैप्टर्स हैं. अमेरिका फेडरल पिनल कोड में 123 चैप्टर्स हैं. जो छोटा सा अमेरिका है, पॉपुलेशन कम है, क्राइम कम है, इसके बावजूद उन्होंने कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव फेडरल पिनल कोड बनाया हुआ है जिसमें 123 चैप्टर हैं. उसमें हमारे में केवल 23 चैप्टर है. मैं कह रहा हूं, जब इसमें ऑलरेडी एक चैप्टर है, उसी चैप्टर को इनलार्ज कर दीजिए, उससे मुकदमा लिखाना आसान होगा. मान लीजिए हम कहीं जा रहे हैं सड़क पे, हमको दिखाई पड़ा है चंगाई सभा हो रही है, हमको दिखाई पड़ा है यहाँ काला जादू अंधविश्वास फैला कन्वर्जन हो रहा है. मेरे पास इतना टाइम नहीं है कि मैं एसपी ऑफिस जाऊं या कोर्ट जाऊं और मुकदमा करवाऊं. मैं मैक्सिमम क्या कर सकता हूं, वहां पे मोबाइल निकाल के 112 नंबर पे फोन कर सकता हूं या 100 नंबर पे फोन कर सकता हूं. वो तभी हो सकता है, पुलिस तभी रिस्पॉन्ड करेगी जब इस आईपीसी में वो रिलीजियस कन्वर्जन ऑफेंस होगा. सेपरेट लॉ बनेगा, स्पेशल लॉ बनेगा, कानून तो बन जाएगा, ये भी हो जाएगा. भाई ठीक है, कानून बन भी गया, लेकिन उसका इफेक्टिवनेस नहीं आएगा.
I get your point. And also what is also happening is that when one state acts on it, a lot of the activities supposedly move away. The center of gravity of such activities moves away. And there are many large social issues involved. Ashwini Upadhyay, I request you to stay with us. You can take some points that come in from some of our guests. Sunny Matthew, I'm coming to you. You know, you often speak on behalf of the church. Now, it is not, hidden from anybody that, Christianity believes in proselytizing. But is it not problematic in a country like India, where there are a lot of other religions that coexist and want to coexist in social harmony, that extreme proselytizing events or activities create a problem of social harmony? And don't you think that everybody needs to come together in this? Because it is one thing, to want to profess your religion and propagate your religion. It's quite another to indulge in activities that is brainwashing many times.
Ma'am, I agree, and this is a sensitive issue. But two things. First thing, okay, forced conversions and decidedly lured conversions should be stopped. That is definitely there.
Okay.
But evangelization is on another side. Speaking about one's beliefs, that is something. The way we talk about ideologies, that is a fundamental right too. So that should also be there.
Fair enough.
And yeah, so having said this, the problem with people like Ashwini Upadhyay is they come in with their own motives, and it's very clear what his motives are. I don't want to
what is the motive?
Put it also.
What is the motive?
The problem is, okay, there are certain forced conversions and every party has been doing it, but we have a missionary that is actually taking action. But his motive is to create communal tension here, and that is a problem.
One second. Before you talk about his motive, one second, Sunny. Before you talk about his motive, first of all, these arguments did not stand in court. We're talking about this issue on a day when the court has rejected these arguments. But my fundamental question to you is, you are saying his petition causes social disharmony. But do forced conversions or conversions in the garb of upliftment, don't they cause social disharmony?
Ma'am, yes. So I initially itself said that forced conversions are an issue. Let it be from Christianity to Christianity, from Islam to Islam, from Hindu to Hindu, to from any religion. When it is forced or when it is deceitful, it is an issue. It's a social issue, and that has to be addressed. Nobody is questioning that.
So
But the
then this
problem
PIL
is,
does
how
that. Then
are we
what's
going
the
to
issue with
address
this PIL?
it? How are we going to address it? How are we doing it? And India is a so when you put this, the problem is what Ashwini was saying is
Huh.
when you go and put it into penal code, you're opening up a plethora of opportunities to misuse this.
Yeah, but that
And we have
exists for
seen,
every law. Sunny, that's an argument that is made for literally every law. That's an argument, for example, that's made for the dowry
and
law.
that is the reason why. And see, we have a federal system, and that is the reason why the central this comes on the purview of the state government, and various state governments, wherever this is an issue, have been doing their bit in their own way, because it has to be taken in the context, and
What is the
in
context
a
to
much more
conversions? I
regional
don't
context.
understand. What is the context to conversions? If every religion is considered equal in India, is to be treated equal in India, then what is the concept or context of conversion?
The literature of the law has to be in context of the place. No, nobody is saying that.
One submission.
Yeah, Rahul, I'm coming to you. 1 second. I fundamentally, truly want to understand what is the objection here. And now it's become very tricky. Nobody wants to say that, yes, forced conversions are okay. Obviously, nobody will say that, but there is a but that comes in. I don't understand the but here. But anyways, Rahul Ishwar, just respond to what, Kevin is saying, that yes, forced conversions are an issue, but evangelization should not be barred. And that is possibly the tricky aspect of this issue, because how do you differentiate between the two?
Three submissions, Shivani ji. One, the greatest secular icon India has ever produced, father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, went on record to say that if I have the power, I would ban all forced conversions. Mahatma Gandhi's son himself was subjected to forced conversion, and Mahatma Gandhi himself wrote about it. And later Harilal Abdullah Gandhi came back to the mother faith. Second, India as a nation has always been pluralistic. We respected every faith and every religion. For example, December 24th, before Christmas, one of the best Christmas Eve celebrations in India happens on Swami Vivekananda's Belur Mutt. Or I come from Kerala, where the oldest churches are there even before the Holy Rome or papacy took place. We have the oldest churches and perhaps the third oldest mosque in the world. So we celebrate and respect every religion. But forced conversions basically break the premise of pluralism, of secularism, saying that one religion is bad. It has to be funded out.
It's better than the other.
And last point, it was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad who stood up for Hindu community and sent a letter to Cardinal Gracious of the then Bombay, the senior Cardinal of Bombay, saying that Hindu community is a very unorganized community. So such kind of mass conversions can create an element of insecurity in Hindu mind. And I laud Ashwini Kumar Upadhyay ji for a persistent and consistent fighter, because we Hindus have that kind of insecurity, because we have seen in the northeast en masse conversions happening. Some villages in Andhra Pradesh going for en masse conversions. They're keeping their old Hindu names and caste names because they want benefit, and still going the other way. So let us respect every faith. What is the need of conversion? And if a person wants to genuinely convert, let him or her do that.
Yeah,
but
genuine conversions are okay, and of course that's an individual right. But you strike at the very heart of the issue. What is the need for conversion? And unfortunately, Ratan Sharda, we cannot have a frank debate on this unless we look at the need for conversion that arises from theology in religions like Islam and Christianity. We cannot evade that. Now, the reason why this conflict happens is because we've got religions that believe in proselytization, evangelism, to the extent that everybody needs to accept that faith, or there are issues. That is the main conflict here. But in a country like India, where there is quote-unquote secularism, we are a pluralistic society. We do give religious freedom to everyone, equal to everyone. These activities are just not possible to ignore. They're not possible to allow.
Shivani, you have made a very right argument. And first of all, I must compliment Mr. Upadhyay for putting such a cogent and rational arguments, very well said arguments, and for consistently following it. And we talk about why does they need to convert, because that is their missionary, their objective of the religion itself.
Yeah.
So being that unless we recognize that they not just convert, but if you look at the language of the people who converted, whether they converted through colonialism by forcing natives and blacks into horrible slavery and converting them with violence, and even going to the extent of they die because of the persecution. This is all recorded in history. We know how women were burned on the stakes for being named as witches, though they may be just curing people.
Yeah.
So many other things. But let me come to the issue of security, because other aspects have been covered. Northeast, the entire separatist movement, entire terror movement has been backed solidly by the church. I have enough evidence which I produced in my book, The Conflict Resolution, and people know about it. So wherever the Hindu population is decimated, there the separatist ideology rises, violence rises, and it is ably backed by the missionaries there. And they, if you look at here, we see very polite, very civilized, churches who say, "Oh, my son, there is nothing, no compulsion." But you go to areas which are dominated by this church, they are very oppressive. They persecute people. They force you to, separate from their own relatives. If they don't convert, they ask you to throw away their idols. They ask you to throw away their murtis and their scriptures and crush them. So with this, you create hate. That is the hate. And even then arguments, if I quote those arguments, I will be called actually a hater and hate creator. And look at Kashmir. After conversion since 13th century, what has happened to Kashmir is everybody's guess. Kanyakumari district, which has got majority of Christians now, it is said that you cannot do any project without the assent of the local padri. So who gave that authority to the people? And even making of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial was a huge problem because the local church opposed it. Why should they oppose it if they are sons of the same soil? And they also believe that Swami Vivekananda was a big reformist and he awakened the spirit of Bharat. Then why should they oppose it? There are stories which you know very well. In tribal areas where they are backed by the Naxals, again, the irreverence against the local religion, the tribal religion was very, very open. And that is the reason we see rebel in those areas. The saints of the time who were actually worshipped by the local tribals, whether it was Beals or whether Gonds or whoever, they have been sidelined and they have been abused. And now we are trying to create new gods which are not there. So this kind of creating schism in the society, creating rebellion in the society, that is objected. Swami
actually, that's what I'm saying.
And just last sentence. Swami Dayanand said that conversion is a violence of the soul because you try to separate the person from the root itself. And when he put forward this particular suggestion in the World Parliament in year 2000, I believe, it was opposed for continuously 2-3 days. Finally, everybody agreed that we will respect all religions. But within a week, the church seminary magazine came out saying our religion is superior. So this supremacist attitude, that is the problem. Somebody going on their own will, feeling that church is much simpler to behave or understand and worship there is fine. But that is not the case. This creation of hate and divisiveness, that is the problem. And we know how India lost major territories right from Afghanistan. We have seen how we lost territories, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and every kind of area because of this convergence.
Yeah, so basically you are saying that the fear that there is a demography shift or a change being perpetuated is born from the fact that every piece of land that was part of this Indian subcontinent that was cohesive and plural became hegemonistic and became just about one religion when it moved away from India. So we have living examples in our history, and not too long ago, frankly. I'm not talking about 1,000 years ago, I'm talking about 100 years ago, that have played out in front of our eyes. So when people brush this aside, that, this whole idea that Hindus are in danger, or the religion itself is in danger, the demography is in danger, frankly, it's not out of thin air. We've seen this transpire in Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and more. But I will give a final comment to Ashwini Upadhyay. Before that, can I bring in Atikur Rahman? Atikur Rahman, don't you think that if we do want to peacefully coexist, everybody has to come together on this issue? Because fundamentally what conversion movements do, and let's not pretend like there are no conversion movements, that there are individual conversions. What conversion movements, proselytizing movements, and evangelism of this extreme kind do is create a schism in society, and that's dangerous. And if everybody wants the fruits of secularism, everybody needs to behave pluralistically as well.
Fine, Shivani. Shivani, we are all agreement that forced conversion should be stopped. Forced conversion are anti-constitutional and it should be, you know, whatever laws the government is bringing, it will be a welcome step. Herein, I would say, so far Article 25 exists, so far the right to consign exists, so far my right to preach, propagate and practice exists. How can any government determine, or any of these societal laws determine that my conversion is a forced conversion? I can agree, Shivani, you'll have to break down the conversions, whether it is a mass conversion of a very downtrodden people for want of any allurement or anything, and people who are converting, who are students or who are adult citizens, fully aware, educated people. We cannot mix up the things, Shivani.
Yeah,
if
okay.
people with a fair conscience of mind want to practice and propagate their religion, and they want to change from something to something, no government laws can prevent them. Of course, then we will come with the aspect of a forced conversion, which should be stopped determinedly. If people are proving that these are forced conversion, we can stop them.
Forced conversion is also a misnomer of sorts.
So far the rights of the
forced conversion is also a misnomer of sorts. Obviously, nobody is physically forced and taken and converted, right? It is mind, it is,
No, Ratan Shahji is saying that.
Once again, it is brainwashing at one level. You can also use the term grooming. It takes several months, several years for people to be pulled away from their, let's say, religion they were born in and pushed into a certain direction. We've seen it happening in many individual cases as well. We're seeing this happening across the world as well. There are cases coming to light. And then there is the issue of lurement. Then there is the issue of lurement. Whether it is social benefits. For example, we here at CNN News 18 did investigations. It is simple things like, you know, if you convert, if you accept this religion, we'll get your children's operation done. If you do this, if you convert your religion, we'll send you abroad for a job. Now, these are not that hard to determine actually. The other issue, which I as a woman feel very strongly about, is conversion in the garb of marriage. Now, two people coming together, they love each other, they're marrying, interfaith marriage. Fair enough, I'm all for it. But then why does one person need to convert if the marriage is for love? Those are questions that will need to be asked. People get very hyper about this.
Shivani, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If Ratan Sharda ji says that the Hindu community is being lured into it by either the Islamists or the Christians, don't the same rights are available to Ratan Sharda ji? If my child Shivani wants to convert from Islam to anything else, it is a failure on my part. That what was I doing? I failed to put my children into a mold of my religious, good things. That's why they are moving away.
Okay,
and they are using the Constitution of India.
So you're saying the person who's taking advantage of you should be let off scot-free? Look inwards. Interesting question, but I will give my guests an opportunity to respond to that. Ashwini ji, please have patience. I'm coming to you. Yeah, Ratan Sharda, you want to respond to it? That maybe there is something wrong with the Hindu society, that it is the Hindus who are getting converted.
We need to have spiritual education.
The quality, the openness of Hindu religion, the tolerance and the respect for other religions, the openness itself becomes its enemy. Because we don't force certain way of thinking, certain of religion, and Semitize the religion, it is taken as a weakness. If Hindus get Semitized, they have a problem. If then they say this is not true Hinduism. So their being not Semitized and their being not violently responding and not converting people becomes their weak point. The strength of Hindu Dharma itself is used as a weak point. So this is a fictitious argument because people who leave Islam, they have huge penalty even up to death. Hindus have no such policy. Hindus don't politicise and Hindus don't force their belief on people. So to say that this is weakness, yes, that is also the strength. That is why Hindu Dharma survives.
And also,
because so many
if
attacks,
we are to live together as a country.
May I rebut this, Shivani?
One second. Where I am coming from
is
that if you want to live together in a country, you talk of brotherhood. Brotherhood comes both ways. Single-handed brotherhood नहीं होता सर. मैं आपको सच्चाई बोल रही हूँ. अगर आप इस तरह की लैंग्वेज यूज करेंगे कि भाई हम तो कर रहे हैं, आप अपने बच्चों को संभाल लो, वो ब्रदरहुड की भाषा नहीं है. बिकॉज फिर दूसरी कम्युनिटी भी कुछ और करने लगेगी तो फिर दिक्कत होगी.
शिवानी,
जल्दी से सर जल्दी करिए, मेरे पास डिबेट का टाइम कम है.
I understand.
हाँ.
Yes, Shivani, see, if I want to preach Islam, what I would say to the people that Islam is a very good religion, but we are all are children of the God. But there are orthodox elements in all the communities, in all the religions.
No, I'm not getting into that. I'm not making this about theology at all. Let's not get into that. There are obviously extreme theological orthodox elements in every religion, but I'm not talking about that. Yes, Rahul Ishwar, very quickly, I have to give the final word to Ashwini Upadhyay.
Just one submission. We Hindus need to have spiritual education. That's true. But that doesn't mean other people can consciously lure, cheat, force allurement or something. Please take the example of Mahatma Gandhi's son. He neither went because of caste, he neither went because of other problems. He was lured and converted and later he came back. So please remember Vivekananda's or Mahatma Gandhi's path of pluralism is what we need and not forced conversion to either one religion or the other religion.
Okay, and if people are not understanding it, then possibly you need a law. One second, Atikaji, one second. Ashwini Upadhyay, how do you address the issue of how do you determine a forced or a lured conversion? Is that indeed not a difficult thing to prove in law?
नहीं, पहली बात तो आप इसको समझिए, एक क्रिश्चियंस ने 2000 साल में 85 कंट्रीज अपने बना ली। 85 क्रिश्चियंस मेजॉरिटी कंट्री हो चुके हैं 2000 साल में। मुस्लिम्स ने 57 कंट्रीज बना लिए 1400 साल में। और जो सनातन धर्म सर्वधर्म समभाव वसुधैव कुटुंबकम सर्व नारी तू नारायणी सबका साथ सबका विकास इक्वलिटी जस्टिस लिबर्टी फ्रेटर्निटी इस थीम पे चल रहा था, वो भारत के 9 राज्यों में भी खत्म हो गया। 9 राज्यों में भी हिंदू माइनॉरिटी हो गए। क्यों? उसका कारण यही था कि सनातन धर्म कभी वायलेंट नहीं होता, कभी ये नहीं कहता कि नहीं तुम शैव बनो तो शैव बनो, वैष्णव बने तो वैष्णव बनो, दुर्गा की पूजा करो दुर्गा पूजा। उसने ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया। दूसरी बात मैं कहना चाहूंगा, किस तरीके का खेल हो चल रहा है। एक तरफ टीवी पे बैठ के लोग कहते हैं मुस्लिम बहुत पिछड़े हुए, सच्चर कमेटी लागू करो, फला करो, मकान हमको दो, ये दो वो दो। दूसरी तरफ मौलवी जाके आदिवासी एरिया में कहते हैं तुम हिंदू हो, तुम देवी की पूजा करते हो, तुम राम की पूजा करते हो, इसीलिए गरीब हो, तुम इस्लाम कबूल कर लो तो तुम्हारा पिछड़ापन दूर हो जाएगा, तुम्हारी बीमारी ठीक हो जाएगी। जबकि सरकारी आंकड़े ये बताते हैं सबसे सरकारी आंकड़ों के अनुसार सबसे ज्यादा गरीब मुस्लिम है। अब मैं आता हूं थर्ड पोजीशन पे। देखिए, जिसके लिए रोजी रोटी ही धर्मांतरण है, जिसके लिए धर्मांतरण ही धंधा है, जिसको खाड़ी देशों से पैसा आ रहा है, चाहे वो हवाला के जरिए आ रहा है या अमेरिका यूरोप से पैसा आ रहा है, एफसीआरए के जरिए आ रहा है, ये बड़ी स्वाभाविक सी बात है। इस देश में मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में करीब 50,000 करोड़ के आसपास खाड़ी देशों से पैसा आता है हर साल। लगभग इतना ही पैसा मिशनरियों को आपके वेस्ट कंट्री से आता है, अमेरिका यूरोप से आता है, थ्रू एफसीआरए आता है। तो उनके लिए धंधा है। वो इसलिए परेशान है कि अगर ये कन्वर्जन रुका तो उनका धंधा रुक जाएगा, धंधा रुक जाएगा तो उनकी आने वाली पेमेंट रुक जाएगी। तो वो चाह रहे कन्वर्जन होता रहे तो उनको लगातार पैसा मिलता रहे। जिस दिन कन्वर्जन बंद हो जाएगा उनको पैसा मिलना बंद हो जाएगा। तीसरी बात, एक बार प्लीज मैं कंप्लीट कर रहा हूं, प्लीज कंप्लीट कर। हाँ, दूसरा, शिवानी जी, केवल धर्मांतरण के खिलाफ 2 धारा जोड़ने से भी धर्मांतरण नहीं रुकेगा। जब तक हवाला के खिलाफ कठोर कानून नहीं बनेगा, जब तक फॉरेन फंडिंग के खिलाफ स्ट्रिक्ट लॉ नहीं बनेगा, जो इनको बेनामी प्रॉपर्टी इन्होंने बना रखा है, इसको प्रॉपर्टी को आधार से लिंक करने के लिए कानून नहीं बनेगा, तब तक धर्मांतरण नहीं रोका। मैं आपको एकदम क्लियरली बता रहा हूं।
नहीं, बट आपने मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दिया। अश्विनी जी, मेरे पास 1 मिनट बचा है। Is it indeed not difficult to outlaw quote unquote forced or lured conversions because it is difficult to prove them?
नहीं, बहुत आसान है, बहुत आसान है इसको प्रूव करना। इसलिए तो मैं कह रहा हूं, इसको जहां तक मिसयूज की बात है, वो तो रेप लॉ बना उसका भी मिसयूज होता है कई बार, डाउरी लॉ का भी मिसयूज होता है, बहुत सारे मर्डर के लॉ का भी मिसयूज होता है। वो इश्यू नहीं है। इश्यू ये है, डिसिटफुल कन्वर्जन को डिफाइन करना बहुत आसान है। डिसिटफुल कन्वर्जन मींस conversion by allurement, conversion by intimidation, conversion by using black magic, conversion by using superstition। और ऑलरेडी इस पे कानून है, जैसे महाराष्ट्र में सुपरस्टिशन ब्लैक मैजिक के ऊपर कानून है। आप उसको नेशनल लेवल पे इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दीजिए आईपीसी में, खत्म बात हो गई। 11 राज्यों ने जो कन्वर्जन लॉ बनाया हुआ है।
स्टार्ट ऑफ द शो, both things also cannot exist, that you convert because you believe that there should be this free flowing movement and anybody should be allowed to go anywhere and everything, and then you also claim the benefits that come from the very system that you are seeking to forego. Now that case is also in the courts, whether converts should get SC/ST benefits. We'll wait and see what happens on both of these areas. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. I have to slip into a very short break, but remember, on the other side, we'll get you the big debate that's coming in from Punjab, where the Chief Minister's own claim that gangster Goldie Barar has been detained in California, has been busted by the gangster himself who's wanted in the Moosewala murder. More on that in just a bit.
Also illegally being kept out of the streets leading out to the temples. Could you tell us more?
There is no doubt that it is violating one's fundamental right to carry out trade and profession. And it is also no doubt that it is politically motivated by the BJP and more so to gain its polarization of votes for the purpose of elections. And since the BJP has nothing to say about its development in the state of Karnataka, and has been involved in communal clashes or spreading the communal clashes or hatred, and somehow it wants to see that the law and order in the state should not be in control, and there should be some agitation, there should be some law and order problems, by which they want to gain political.
Okay, Sanket, can I very quickly ask you, because we do have a BJP spokesperson with us right now, so I do want to ask you very quickly before we go over to them. The BJP has alleged again and again that it was back in 2002 when the Congress was in power that the leasing of land around temples was banned to non-Hindus. Is that accurate?
Leasing of land is different. Allowing someone to carry out trade and profession is different. There are some street hawkers, like wherein the lease will not be granted to them, they still carry out certain business, small petty businesses. Like someone is selling the balloons, someone is selling.
Sure, sir, but the BJP could easily argue that what they're doing is just another version of what your party did back in 2002, where a call for a ban on Muslim temple traders continues. Remember, this is not the first time we're coming across this call. There have been reports of such calls coming in since all the way back in March this year. We've seen multiple Hindu outfits mount pressure on various temple authorities. What they're trying to do is ban Muslim traders ahead of the annual temple fairs that take place across the state. Specifically right now, though, for this story, we're focusing on Udupi. You've had traders and authorities in the area write letters to the Muzerai department to ban Muslim traders for the upcoming popular temple fairs. But again, as I told you earlier, this is not the first time that we're seeing such calls. Back in March, you'd seen appeals for such calls right before the March-May annual festivities that take place. Now, I just want to check if we have a reporter connected with us already. My colleague Ritu is with us right now to bring us more details. Ritu, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Ritu, could you just explain to our audiences this demand that's coming through that we're telling our audiences right now? If it were actually implemented, would it be legal? And how would it be implemented? How do traders hope it will be implemented? Could you tell us more?
First point is that this is not something new that we're getting to see here in the Karnataka. As Karnataka is heading into an assembly election, these incidents are actually coming into the light often now. But yes, earlier as well, we had seen this taking up a huge turn again from the coastal belt of the Karnataka itself, where in the Udupi itself we had seen a popular temple where there was again a call for the ban of the Muslim traders, because what these Hindu outfits are actually alleging is that the community which is involved in anti-national activities and also has a plan of coming up with a big conspiracy against the society must not be permitted to do the trade during the temple fairs. So now this is another incident that we're getting to hear from the Udupi district, where the popular annual fairs are upcoming, and the two specially popular temple fairs, that is in the Udupi district itself, Koteshwara temple and also another temple of Durga Parmeshwara temple fair as well, one which is slated to be on the 8th and another one again after a couple of days itself. So that actually is a very big temple fairs in the Udupi district. During this time we get to see a huge public gathering as well, and there is again a big scope for the business too during this festivals in the district. So now ahead of that popular temple fairs, again there is a call that has been given to ban for the Muslim traders. But yes, we had seen earlier as well how the state government has went forward and also had supported in some way, saying that the state government in fact fact stands and defends this kind of step coming in from the Hindu outfits as well, because what again the rules also states as per this Karnataka state government is also that the Muslim traders, or for that matter the other community members, should not be allowed to do business during the temple fest, especially on the premises of the temple itself. So there is a ban on that. So that had been the defense of the state government, but meanwhile you see the Hindu outfits are continuing, and this kind of a chorus is actually growing here in the Karnataka ahead of the assembly elections.
Okay, but Ritu, what I want to understand from you is, when you take a look at Karnataka, the history is so integrated. You have an example, you have the Bappanadu temple, for example, that was built by a Muslim merchant years ago, decades and decades ago. Temples like that, I know that this year that temple saw the banning of Muslim traders. When the community is so integrated, how is such a ban even being implemented?
Very true, see that again there's too many aspects as well that we'll also try and have to try and look after it, because one, in the Karnataka that we're talking about, you see the state heading into an assembly election, these kind of incidents have actually become very normal, where Hindu outfits are actually often coming out and saying that there should be a ban on the Muslim traders on the temple premises, because the community is often seen with the anti-national activities. Now you remember in this particular incident as well, what the Hindu outfits are actually saying is that there have been an incident that we have often reported of anti-national activities and the conspiracies actually being hashed against the temple itself. So thus this community should not be permitted to do trade on the temple premises during the fair, and moreover the Hindu traders should be given an...
Ritu, I want to understand from you, how is the actual enforcing taking place? Could you tell our audiences? Because I know that such banning has already taken place in this past year, how was that enforced? What did the district officials practically actually do on the ground?
There are a couple of challenges again here. One will have to ensure that the law and order on the ground has been maintained, and again what the state government also states also becomes an important point during this point
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Now, 4 days after Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann claimed that Goldie Barar, the mastermind behind the murder of singer Sidhu Moosewala, has been detained in the US, the gangster emerged in a YouTube interview and claimed that he was absolutely free. This has caused massive embarrassment for Mann and Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab, because the Chief Minister even went on to claim that Barar will be in the custody of Punjab police soon. Not just that, the Punjab CM went on to brag that gangster culture will soon end in Punjab on the back of this news of Barar being detained in California that he only confirmed as, quote, head of state. Mann also said Barar will be soon extradited to India. Meanwhile, Goldie claims he has long left Canada and the US and is currently in Europe. A key member of the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, this man has claimed responsibility for the murder of Moosewala. Now, this isn't the first time that Bhagwant Mann has been left red-faced as the new Chief Minister of Punjab. Earlier, he had claimed that BMW is setting up a manufacturing unit in the state, a claim that the automaker itself had to come out and deny. Then, once he claimed that the Kali Bain water is not polluted, and to prove this, he drank the water from the stream, only to be hospitalized a day later. So the big question we asked today, was Bhagwant Mann clueless about what was happening, or did he deliberately lie?
डिटेन किया उन्होंने संपर्क किया है भारत सरकार से, पंजाब पुलिस से। उसको लेके आएंगे, पक्का लेके आएंगे।
भगवंत मान पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री झूठी स्टेटमेंट देते हैं चुनाव को देखते हुए। पहले सिद्धू मूसेवाले की सिक्योरिटी विड्रॉ करके अपनी वाहवा लूटना चाहते थे, और अब वोटों के लिए यह जानकारी देकर कि हमने गोल्डी बराड़ को अरेस्ट कर लिया, ये वाहवाही लूटना चाहते थे।
मुख्यमंत्री गुजरात में जाके कह रहा है गोल्डी बराड़ है, उनको डिटेन कर दिया है। इतना रिस्पॉन्सिबल पोजीशन पे बैठे मुख्यमंत्री जब ऐसी स्टेटमेंट वोटों की राजनीति के लिए देता, तो आप खुद समझिए कि पंजाब को चला कौन रहा है।
What was meant to be some sort of an advertisement of the new culture in Punjab has turned out to be an embarrassment for the Aam Aadmi Party government. Aam Aadmi Party has refused to partake in this discussion. Anil Sarin is chief spokesperson of the Punjab BJP unit. Arshpreet Singh Kadial is from the Congress Party. Hemant Atri, senior journalist, tracks Punjab politics. And Parvinder Singh Sethi is political analyst who is joining us. Parvinder ji, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, ये exactly हो क्या रहा है पंजाब में? पंजाब चीफ मिनिस्टर एक तो गुजरात में जाके क्यों बोल रहे हैं ये पंजाब का इशू, उसके बारे में बात ही क्यों कर रहे हैं? उसके बाद फिर उनका जो क्लेम है वो ही गलत निकल जाता है?
नहीं, आप एक बात को समझिए ना, अगर भगवंत मान जाते हैं गुजरात के अंदर कन्वेंसिंग करने, हाँ। जो भारत सरकार के 150 मंत्री जाते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री जाते हैं, गृह मंत्री जाते हैं, अगर एक पंजाब के चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं आम आदमी के, अगर वो कन्वेंसिंग करने के लिए जाते हैं अपनी पार्टी के लिए, तो सभी बड़े लीडर जाते हैं।
नहीं, उसमें दिक्कत नहीं है, बट वो पंजाब का मुद्दा वहाँ गुजरात में यही बताने जा रहे थे ना कि पंजाब गवर्नमेंट कितना अच्छा कर रही है। उन्होंने तो क्या क्या नहीं बोला कि पंजाब गवर्नमेंट से कांटेक्ट हुआ है, एक्स्ट्राडाइट हो जाएगा गोल्डी बरार और सब कुछ। वो तो अपनी वाहवाही लूटना चाह रहे थे, लेकिन क्लेम तो सही होना चाहिए।
नहीं, देखिए जो भी अपने अचीवमेंट्स हैं या जो भी काम कर रहे हैं किसी भी सरकार, किसी भी राज्य सरकार का सीएम उसकी बात करता है।
नहीं तो ये तो राज्य सरकार का काम ही नहीं है ना, ये तो किया ही नहीं राज्य सरकार ने। वो ले आते तो बात अलग थी।
नहीं, अभी देखिए ना, ये जो क्रिमिनल इश्यूज हैं इसके ऊपर इंक्वायरी हो रही है, इसके ऊपर जो डेवलपमेंट हुई है उन्होंने बताई हैं। अगर उसमें कुछ फ़र्क पड़ा है तो उस बात को देखिए ना, उन सबको तो कर लिया। जो भी वहाँ पे क्राइम हुआ है, अगर किसी स्टेट के अंदर क्राइम होता है उसके ऊपर एक्शन ले रही है राज्य सरकार। पूरी तरह से वो इसकी बात की चिंता करती है कि यहाँ पे जो मर्डर हुए हैं उसके सारे जितने भी दोषी हैं उनको सख्त से सख्त सजा मिले।
चाहे कहीं। But the point is that the chief minister has to make a statement, especially on extradition of a most wanted gangster into India with some responsibility. That's not a loose statement or claim that can make. But let me bring in some of your opponents and then you can respond again. He leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Anil Sarin, why would the Punjab Chief Minister lie is also a question that is coming to mind. Surely he wouldn't make, give out such a white lie, knowing that this is such a massive claim that would later be proved wrong if it was indeed wrong.
Shivani, as far as Bhagwant Maan is concerned, he can say anything, anywhere, as per his master's voice. सबसे बड़ी समस्या क्या है भगवंत मान की? देखिए, पंजाब के लिए गोल्डी बरार एक न्यूसेंस बना हुआ है. Day in and day out, this gangsters activities are taking place. Ransom calls are coming day in and out daily, and this killings taking place every day. लेकिन भगवंत मान की समस्या क्या है? भगवंत मान हमारे मुख्यमंत्री हैं. ही इज अ स्टेट चीफ मिनिस्टर, इज आवर चीफ मिनिस्टर, एंड ही सेज कि गोल्डी बरार को यूएस में डिटेन कर लिया गया है और हम जल्द उसको लेके आएंगे. इट्स अ वेलकम स्टेप अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है, दो इट इज द प्रेरोगेटिव ऑफ द सेंट्रल एजेंसीज. ओके, ही सेज वी आर हैप्पी दिस वे और अदर वे गोल्डी बरार शुड बी अरेस्टेड एंड ब्रॉट बैक टू पंजाब. लेकिन समस्या क्या है? उसके बाद जब गोल्डी बरार का वीडियो आता है कि आई एम फ्री एंड दैट टू रिलीज्ड बाय अ वेरी रिस्पांसिबल प्रेस कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट मिस्टर लेक. नाउ आफ्टर दैट वीडियो, आम आदमी पार्टी chief spokesperson Mr. Kang and other spokespersons come on the TV screen. Look, opposition is just making a hue and cry. We have done such a wonderful job, and they're not digesting it. Let me can they tell me if there is any controversy on the arrest of Goldie Brar, who is to make the statement? First, Bhagwant Maan make the statement that he has been detained. If any controversy has arisen, then Bhagwant Maan or the DGP Punjab should come on the stage. They should come before the public. Yes, we have arrested him. This video is not, you can say, to be a factual position.
Yeah, sure enough.
But, really, this is what I'm saying. We have to trust our chief minister.
No, you're right. I mean, if Goldie Brar is making a false claim on his detention or, whether he's free or detained, then obviously the Punjab police or the Punjab chief minister who initially released this information need to come out and clarify to us. We haven't heard anything. Arshpreet?
Yes,
Ashpreet, what has gone wrong here? I mean, I'm still not sure who to believe actually, but that's unfortunate when the Chief Minister comes out and says that we've nabbed this person. First of all, you've not nabbed this person. A foreign agency and its police has nabbed this person. Although, let's say your claim is that they have and they'll be extraditing this person. These issues don't work like that. Should he have made that claim if this was not certain? I mean, it's just very bizarre what has happened.
Exactly. It's, one cannot understand if they should be laughing at this, that a CM levels leader is making these kind of statements, or if one should be sad about this, that the person who has been caught, red-handed at lying while he was lying, and that too not once, not twice, but thrice. It is very unfortunate and sad state of affairs that Punjab now has to deal with such a CM for the next 4 years. And number two, it's a blunt. Now, Aam Aadmi Party should be called a blunder Aadmi Party, because this is not the first mistake that they have made with regards to Sidhu Moosewala's case. First, his security got withdrawn. Then the names got published whose security was withdrawn. Then a co-accused, Tinu, whose name was Tinu, he absconded.
Yeah.
And number 4, now this issue has happened. So basically, they are playing with the emotions of the family of Sidhu Moosewala and the emotions of Punjab.
In fact, his family has been on record to say that they don't really trust that the Punjab police or the government is doing a fair job in this probe. Exactly. But can I quickly bring in Hemant Attri also?
They say last point. They say that we don't expect that the Aam Aadmi Party would be able to deliver justice, and that's why his father came forward and said that I'll personally ensure 2 crore reward is given to the person, whoever informs on him. And last but not the least, the reason as to why this is a lie, plain as a day. And it was used in the last phase of Gujarat election in order to cast votes. Simple as that. Nothing more to it.
Hemant Attri, is it that Bhagwant Mann, seriously doesn't have any control on what he says? He just ended up making this claim because it will sound great just before Gujarat elections. I mean, I'm still not understanding whether I should trust him or I should trust this gangster mastermind most wanted Brar. I don't want to trust Brar on this, right? I want to trust an Indian state's chief minister on this. But Bhagwant Mann has made this such a sorry state of affairs where you don't know who to trust.
Shivani ji, it's very unfortunate that a person who is in the rank of a chief minister, who has been a career comedian, you must have heard of career diplomats, career bureaucrats, career politicians. Here we are dealing with a person who is a career comedian, who doesn't understand the oath of office and secrecy. If at all, if this story was to be disclosed, I'm not going into the merits of the case, whether the gentleman Goldie Brad is in detention or not. Issue is very simple. If this issue was to be disclosed, what is the first nodal agency? That is, Interpol. Interpol never comes on record on this. Then, second is FBI. FBI has not uttered a word. In India, the single point agency, nodal agency, is CBI for all those red notices which are issued all over the world. CBI has not uttered a word. See, whenever a chief minister takes office, he takes 2 oaths. One is office of oath and the other is office of secrecy. One has to understand the nuances of that. Mr. Bhagwant Mann either should have disclosed what is the source of his information. Otherwise, he should not have said this.
No, but apparently he went on to say that they have been contacted by US authorities. Now, nobody can make that up, right?
Precisely, Shivani ji, no US authority, FBI or Interpol ever connects with any state or minister.
Exactly.
Or chief minister. They directly connect and convey only to the CBI, which is the single point nodal agency in this particular instance, or for that matter, any red notice issued all over the world. In every country, they have one point, one agency. See, we have so many agencies, every state police, NIA, CBI, ED, so many of them. In India, CBI is the only nodal agency with whom they interact. And it has certain Shivani ji, it has very, very serious implications. See, it's a matter with national security. National security is of utmost prime.
No, it spoils your international relationship as well. Look at what happened when he was on a trip overseas. He just randomly claimed that BMW is setting a plant in Punjab. BMW had to come out and say no. Now he's, now he's linking US and Indian agencies, making a claim on the behalf of US agencies. It certainly puts a strain on your international relationships like this.
And not to forget, it's an embarrassment for the state government. But Hemant Atri, did he lie? That's the main question. Did he lie, or was he too economical, or did he overstate the truth? I mean, I don't understand what happened here.
Shivani ji, you and me can't say whether he lied or not. One thing is very sure, that he was politically incorrect. That's what the point is. Being on such a serious post, senior post like Chief Minister, he should have behaved in the way a responsible person should have behaved. No central agency, no FBI, no Interpol, nobody has uttered a word. See, this news is gaining the momentum since last 20th of November. Today, it is 6th of December, 16 days. Nobody has uttered a word.
Yeah, only he did.
Mr. Bhagwant Mann says that he has been contacted by US authorities.
Yes.
He should have named the authority.
Oh God.
See, he needs to be more responsible.
Yeah. Can I give final word to Parvinder Singh Sethi also? This is just not what you expect of a Chief Minister, Mr. Sethi. This is a very serious issue and a very serious office. Whether you want to tom-tom what you've done or not, that can be debated. But you don't do this.
नहीं, जो उन्होंने बात कही है उसका जो एजेंसीज़ हैं, जो कंसर्न्ड एजेंसीज़ हैं या फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री है या उनके साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करके उनको लाने की बात करने की बात करी गई है, लेकिन इस बात को इस तरीके से रखा जा रहा है कि उन्होंने करा है, लेकिन वो प्रॉपर चैनल से ही उसको लाया जाएगा।
आएगी तो प्रॉपर चैनल से ही सर, वो कोई उसको अपने आप प्लेन में बिठा के थोड़ा ना ले आएंगे, ऐसे नहीं होता है।
बिल्कुल।
लेकिन क्या उनको ये बोलना भी चाहिए था? जब तक न्यूज कंफर्म नहीं होती, इंडियन एजेंसीज नहीं बोलती, यूएस अथॉरिटीज नहीं बोलती, उन्होंने क्यों बोला ये? अगर सही भी है तो मैं तो कहती हूँ, मैं बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट अपने स्टेट, अपने इंडिया के स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर को दूंगी।
नहीं, उन्होंने कोऑर्डिनेट करके जो भी है उसको लाने की बात कही होगी। उसमें जो फ़र्क है कि जो हमारी एजेंसीज हैं, फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री है, उनके कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ ही हो पाएगा जो भी होगा। उनकी कोई बात हुई होगी या
सर, ऐसे नहीं होता है कि बात हुई होगी। You don't really say these things in public unless you are sure, and there is a protocol to be followed. Certainly an embarrassment for not just Bhagwant Mann, who's a new chief minister, but also for the Aam Aadmi Party. This is a sign of how things are being run. I thank all of our guests for joining us. Time for us to slip into a very short break. Thanks a lot for watching, please.
Going on to defend this kind of steps, and earlier as well we had seen the ban of the Muslim traders on the temple premises. There is again likely that a similar incident will take place in the upcoming days as well during this temple fairs as well. But what we again have to try and look after is that you see India was actually badly affected during the COVID time, and we are still trying to recover from that bad moment that one had gone through economically as well. So now this is again an opportunity for these small traders to come out and do their business and somewhere economically try and manage their lives.
I just want you to stay with us for a second. We have Sankeet Yanagi from the Congress. He's with us right now, and I want to go over to him to understand more about the situation. Sir, thank you for joining us. Sir, I believe the Congress and its MLAs have come out and argued that Muslim vendors and traders are not only being prevented from setting up shop, they're also illegally being kept out of the streets leading out to the temples. Could you tell us more?
There is no doubt that it is violating one's fundamental right to carry out trade and profession. And it is also no doubt that it is politically motivated by the BJP, and more so to gain its polarization of votes for the purpose of elections. And since the BJP has nothing to say about its development in the state of Karnataka and has been involved in communal clashes or spreading the communal clashes or hatred, and somehow it wants to see that the law and order in the state should not be in control, and there should be some agitation, there should be some law and order problems, by which they want to gain political...
Sankeet, can I very quickly ask you, because we do have a BJP spokesperson with us right now, so I do want to ask you very quickly before we go over to them. The BJP has alleged again and again that it was back in 2002 when the Congress was in power that the leasing of land around temples was banned to non-Hindus. Is that accurate?
Leasing of land is different. Allowing someone to carry out trade and profession is different. There are some street hawkers, like wherein the lease will not be granted to them, they still carry out certain business, small petty businesses. Like someone is selling the balloons, someone is selling
Sure, sir, but the BJP
flowers.
the BJP could easily argue that what they're doing is just another version of what your party did back in 2002, where a call for a ban on Muslim temple traders continues. Remember, this is not the first time we're coming across this call. There have been reports of such calls coming in since all the way back in March this year. We've seen multiple Hindu outfits mount pressure on various temple authorities. What they're trying to do is ban Muslim traders ahead of the annual temple fairs that take place across the state. Specifically right now, though, for this story, we're focusing on Udupi. You've had traders and authorities in the area write letters to the Muzerai department to ban Muslim traders for the upcoming popular temple fairs. But again, as I told you earlier, this is not the first time that we're seeing such calls. Back in March, you'd seen appeals for such calls right before the March-May annual festivities that take place. Now, I just want to check if we have a reporter connected with us already. My colleague Ritu is with us right now to bring us more details. Ritu, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Ritu, could you just explain to our audiences this demand that's coming through that we're telling our audiences right now? If it were actually implemented, would it be legal? And how would it be implemented? How do traders hope it will be implemented? Could you tell us more?
The first point is that this is not something new that we're getting to see here in the Karnataka. As Karnataka is heading into an assembly election, these incidents are actually coming into the light often now. But yes, earlier as well, we had seen this taking up a huge turn again from the coastal belt of the Karnataka itself, where in the Udupi itself we had seen a popular temple where there was again a call for the ban of the Muslim traders, because what these Hindu outfits are actually alleging is that the community which is involved in anti-national activities and also has a plan of coming up with a big conspiracy against the society must not be permitted to do the trade during the temple fairs. So now this is another incident that we're getting to hear from the Udupi district, where the popular annual fairs are upcoming, and the two specially popular temple fairs, that is in the Udupi district itself, Koteshwara temple and also another temple of Durga Parmeshwara temple fair as well, one which is slated to be on the 8th and another one again after a couple of days itself. So that actually is a very big temple fairs in the Udupi district. During this time we get to see a huge